is Alex.
Welcome back to Corey in the House.
Funny you should mention that. I'm going to the White House tomorrow.
Why?
Just going on a little intern tour there. They're going to show me around. Going to see the cafeteria, see the Oval Office, see the sex dungeon, see, Vladimir Putin worship room. It's going to be a lot of fun. Lots of good stuff in there, I'm sure.
This is Mr. Kennedy's personal gimp suit. It was designed in 1961 by Leonard Hofstadter.
I'm most excited really to see the room of frozen president heads.
Like in Futurama.
Yeah, they've got Jimmy Carter, they got Reagan, they've even got George Washington down there.
George Jetson.
Yeah, so they're trying to get Elon Musk to hook them up with some sort of AI that replicates their personality, and maybe they'll start talking. And
he's a little busy.
Yeah, he's a little busy with his submarines at the moment, and using the AI to create Thai boys he can rescue.
It's still so fascinating to me. I think we said this before, but how someone can eliminate so much goodwill so quickly.
I know.
With one fell swoop.
He was already kind of getting on my nerves because he was
annoying.
Kind of pretentious and annoying on Twitter. And then that whole fiasco happened, and I was like, oh yeah, I guess all my thoughts about you were confirmed, so I don't feel bad about thinking you're kind of a dick now. So
oh shit,
it's all well and good. You know what's kind of weird actually is that this is totally unrelated. Mission Impossible Fallout, the new one?
Yeah.
What do you think of the trailers? Do you think it looks good? Do you think it looks bad?
I think it was heavily edited, obviously, to coincide with the song. But it looked cool. I
mean, normally I'm cool with that. I love editing to music. That's such an easy, ooh, this is interesting to me. But Tom Cruise kind of freaks me out because he's a Scientologist, and also he looks funny. And he's shorter than the movies make him look. But Mission Impossible series is a pretty good series of movies. And the trailer had me kind of iffy on it for a while. The only thing I really, really enjoyed about that trailer was Henry Cavill's fucking shotgun arms where he locks and loads and just punches a guy through a fucking bathroom mirror.
If I know that Tom Cruise is a jack guy, but he's also 5'7" or something like that.
He's really short.
Cavill's 300 pounds and 6'3", and I want to see a point in the movie where they go oh, what's the guy's name? Ethan Hunt.
Yeah.
And they go Ethan, you gotta fight this Henry Cavill's character, and he's just no, I'm good. I think I'm gonna not do that.
I wonder,
Ethan, come on, you're good at hand-to-hand combat. It's look at him.
The guy's literally Superman. I wonder if there was ever a really dramatic point in the movie where they're standing really close, face to face, having one of those stare-offs where they're telling each other off. And I wonder if Tom Cruise was yeah, can someone get me a stand, or Henry, if you could squat down a little bit, that'd really help me out. I wonder what his fictional height is. What do they shoot Tom Cruise to be?
6 foot.
I think they make everyone walk around with their knees slightly bent, or they make Tom Cruise walk around with those funny shoes that make you a few inches taller.
How tall do you think the director of Guardians of the Galaxy is?
James Gunn?
Yeah.
I'm going to guess he definitely looks like an under 6 foot guy. 5'9".
Do you think he gets shorter every time he makes a rape joke?
Damn. I actually did want to talk about that because there's a lot of people...
Those are... I mean, what I think is, though, he said some really awful shit 10 fucking years ago. People change.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
So you're on that
people
camp.
got so mad at me, but... You have to realize that people are not the same person every single year. Things change. I'm not saying that he definitely has, his moral compass maybe is different, but it seems like outwardly he's more of a flowery person and not such a cunt.
Yeah, so the only thing, if this was James Gunn is 30 and he made a bunch of weird, edgy jokes when he was 20, I'd be oh, lay off. He was obviously just being
But
an
he
idiot.
was 30 when he made the jokes.
Yeah, he was an adult when he made the
care.
jokes. And then he became more of an adult. I haven't gotten to that age yet, so I don't really know what happens.
About this. How about you fire Johnny Depp?
Yeah, that's the other thing. Well,
if we're going by tasteless jokes and not,
actions.
assault and abuse,
Oh, right. He's in Pirates of the Caribbean. I was trying to think like...
He's in Pirates of the Caribbean.
I was thinking Fantastic Beasts isn't a Disney movie.
Yes, it is.
It's a Warner Bros. movie.
Disney owns the rights to use like Gringotts and stuff for their Harry Potter world, so they're associated.
That's very incorrect. Harry Potter World is at Universal Studios.
What the fuck?
Yeah, and Warner Brothers produces all the Harry Potter movies.
Never mind. Sorry, my theme park knowledge is a little skewed.
It still stands because Pirates of the Caribbean, they obviously just made one. I think they're gonna make another one, and they haven't announced that they've like slashed that relationship. But the weird thing is, I think I err on the side that James Gunn shouldn't have been fired because his personality now versus when he made those jokes are like night and day. Like he definitely obviously seems a changed person. And I'm okay with someone learning from their mistakes. You know, I'm not like a lot of other people on woke Twitter or whatever that just want a sacrificial lamb to like make themselves feel better or superior. So to me, it's pretty apparent that James Gunn learned from being an edgy comedian idiot. And also his early movies are pretty dark, and kind of have that gallows humor, I guess you could call it as well. But he definitely seems to have grown as a person, so I'm not going to personally hold it against him. But the other thing is, this whole dredging up of his old shit was a like coordinated effort by a bunch of like alt-right trolls. I hate saying that. That sounds pretty generic and like what people on CNN would fucking say.
The headline everybody used.
Yeah, just like a few fucking racist assholes who are also conservative, like super Trumpers online, like Mike Cernovich, were like telling people, yeah, go fucking dig up this shit, or like, wow, look at this. Can you believe this? Disney's still fucking hiring this guy. Disney should fucking fire this guy. And people just ate that shit up. And Disney caved to the pressure, I guess. So good on them. And then fucking
they turned the woke against them.
Yeah, they did. And that's the thing is like the guy who fucking brought up these tweets, Mike Cernovich, is like an actual rapist. I'm pretty sure he's like tweeted about this and other way worse shit, saying like you can't rape an unconscious girl. There's no forcing anything. That doesn't make sense. So that's just that, you know, snippet of disgusting shit that comes out of that guy's mouth.
Let's not like say that, oh, James Gunn just made a few, he said the F word once, gasp. No, he said some pretty fucking vile shit.
No, definitely.
But it was a joke.
Yes.
Intended to be a joke, intended to make people uncomfortable.
Like, I am not...
Ostensibly.
I don't think James Gunn is actually a pedophile or anything. I know there is a camp of people that think that. And the volume of tweets is obviously, like, pretty big. But that's because it was over the course of, like, a few years, right? I just feel bad. I even feel bad, like, trying to, like, even come anywhere close to defending this. Obviously what he tweeted was, like, fucked up, but I think he did learn from his mistakes. So it feels like punishing him now retroactively after he's already made 2 Guardians movies doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't know. I feel like Disney must have already known about this or something, and now that it's being dragged up to the light, now they're overreacting or whatever. I don't know. It's hard to come down on this in like a nuanced sort of way where I'm not like totally like James Gunn is amazing, like block the haters, or fuck James Gunn, he's a piece of shit, Disney should have fucking executed him. Like there's like a balance and I'm in there somewhere, I guess. I don't know. It's hard. I don't know what to say more than that really without I wouldn't piss people off really, but I don't know. Those are my thoughts as best as I can describe them. I don't know about you.
Well, he had a lot of transphobic shit and a lot of rape shit and a lot of pedophile shit. I'm still looking at these tweets and goddamn, they're not even funny.
Yeah. That's the other thing is
the Hardy Boys and the mystery of what it feels like when Uncle Bernie fists me.
That is like that's just like dumb. Yeah.
And I don't mean it like I find pretty fucked up shit funny. Mm-hmm. It's not even worded right to be like.
Yeah. So funny. See, that's like what I'm trying to think of. What makes the difference between a fucked up joke that makes you laugh?
Delivery?
I guess, but does that, because it makes you laugh, does that make it morally okay?
That's what people think about Louis C.K.
Okay, but the thing is, he actually did shit.
Okay, that's not what I meant at all. I'm talking about, regardless of the awful shit he did, the delivery of his fucked up jokes.
Oh, well, yeah, but you can say that...
If told by anybody else, then they wouldn't work.
You can say that about a lot of comedians, though.
Exactly. I just brought that up as an example.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. But that's the thing. It's weird that we are like, okay, this fucked up joke is okay as long as it's funny, and this fucked up joke is not okay because it's dumb and is not funny. You know? Isn't that like a weird kind of useless distinction? But we weight this incredibly important judgment on it based on whether or not we laugh at it.
What?
Whether or not a fucked up joke is funny basically determines how we feel about the person telling the joke. Like, if it's not funny, I was like, wow, you're just a horrible person. But if it is funny, you're like, haha, that was good.
Even 3 men and a baby they had sex with.
Is that all he tweeted?
It's #unromantic movies. 3 men and a baby they had sex with.
What is that even a play on? Is there a movie with...
Maybe 3 men and a baby is a movie.
Wait, I think that is a movie.
Yeah, it's about 3 guys and a baby.
That's okay. Whatever. But the other thing,
I can see how that could be humorous, but it just that all this stuff. Oh, yeah, there's so much worse stuff. We talked about stuffing guns into dead babies.
That's true, but that's so absurd that
it's also absurd to assume that 3 men would fuck a baby. I think it depends on the person and whether or not you're inclined to dislike them.
Yeah. I don't know.
We talked about...
I think our situation
Tom Brady wanting to fuck his son.
Right.
And you're thinking about it and you're like, oh, wait, we did say that.
What's that saying? You can't throw stones from a glass house or whatever?
Well,
we're not even in the same
glass house has been shattered
ballpark.
for 3 years. This glass has become sand over the years.
But the stuffing babies with guns or whatever thing, that's so ridiculous that it's obviously a joke. The concept of 3 men.
It sounds like you're...
his joke. Okay, obviously there's a huge difference between stuffing a baby with guns, which makes no sense whatsoever, and 3 men having sex with a baby, which is fucked up and unfortunately a reality.
In the same realm of craziness.
Not real. No.
Yeah, they are.
Ours is way crazier than that. Why would you... There's no reason you would ever stuff a gun into a baby. I don't think that's physically even possible.
I'm doing a big Hollywood film adaptation of The Giving Tree with a happy ending. The tree grows back and gives the kid a blowjob.
I thought that one was bad.
I didn't think it was necessarily.
I mean,
at the end of the book, the kid is an adult.
I don't know, that one wasn't even one of the more egregious ones. That's the one I skimmed over and I was like, oh, that's pretty dumb.
I think the ones like R.T. Peter Alton, I like it when little boys touch me in my silly place. Shh. Yeah, that's fucked.
Yeah, that's bad. Anything that's I don't know, gets a little too close to that, no good.
My new film, Jerk Loose, is a small town where beating off is illegal and one high school kid jerks off in front of the others to show how fun it is.
Wait,
that's not bad.
That's pretty funny.
That is pretty funny.
That's good, actually. And there's no pedophilia involved. See? It's so easy.
Well, high school kid.
Okay, well, I was a fucking high school kid and I jerked off, so, who gives a shit?
This may be part of the plant version of adopting a damaged 12-year-old girl who steals your money and accuses you of molesting her.
Nope. No good.
Okay.
Did you see
Photo shoot with Amy Lead, Stevie Sparkle, and Melissa Pizza trying to maintain a semi-chub so I'll look impressive in these photos.
Don't know. I don't even know who those people are. Did you see off the back of this the Dan Harmon stuff? Dan Harmon left Twitter.
Yeah. Why did he do that?
So he left Twitter because just like James Gunn, people found some shit on him that was not flattering. So back, I think like 10 years ago, just like James Gunn, he made a pilot episode for an old web series called Daryl, which is a spoof of the show Dexter, where he like kills this serial killer. Yeah, he kills like bad people to like get off on it.
But this guy, does he rape children or something?
So the plot of Daryl is these people go back in time to sexually assault serial killers to stop them from becoming serial killers in the first place. But that's usually
the reason they became a serial killer is because they were abused.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, in the episode, Harmon can be seen sexually assaulting a baby doll, and in the second episode, reportedly assaulting a cat.
Mm-hmm.
So after people found that, he released a statement saying, "In 2009, I made a pilot which strove to parody the series Dexter and only succeeded in offending. I quickly realized that the content was way too distasteful and took the video down immediately. No one should ever have to see what you saw, and for that, I sincerely apologize." But instead of Adult Swim like firing him or anything, they just said, "The offensive content of Dan's 2009 video that recently surfaced demonstrates poor judgment and does not reflect that type of content we seek out."
How old was this? How many years ago?
It's from 2009, so almost 10 years ago. Dan recognizes a mistake at the time and has apologized. He understands there's no place for this type of content here at Adult Swim. So, obviously, because I think this... I don't know. Well, did you think that was the right move? Do you think they should have fired him?
Move? Adult Swim fired him?
Should Adult Swim have fired him? They didn't fire him. No.
Oh, I don't think so.
Yeah, I wish that. I don't know.
I think Dan Harmon's just in general probably a really fucked up person, just mentally, because he's got like a lot of demons and shit.
Yeah, I mean he's had problems in the past with
and
like.
It does not shock me at all that he made something like that.
Yeah, I mean he also made.
And also, in Rick and Morty, Morty gets fucking molested by a jelly bean in a bathroom stall.
Yeah, that episode actually really bothered me.
Where he almost got raped, yeah.
Yeah.
That was not pretty. And by the voice actor of the guy who plays SpongeBob. So that was just beautiful.
Tom Kenny? Jesus Christ. Yep. There's also... Dan Harmon made another web series back in the day, I think, called The Cosby Thing. Like, it was basically a riff on The Cosby Show, but the show was just about a bunch of clones of Bill Cosby. Oh, it's called House of Cosbys.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's an animated sitcom about a bunch of Cosby clones, and each of them are like slightly different. It was really weird, obviously, and I don't blame him because obviously he didn't know that Bill Cosby was a serial rapist at the time of making that, but it obviously has not aged well.
Well, how can you blame him for that then? Because he didn't know.
That's exactly what I'm saying. I don't blame him for it because literally no one knew. It was, in fact, the point of it being funny was that Bill Cosby was this like, chummy, like upstanding
family
figure,
man,
and he was like corrupting that with this show and making it weird. But then Bill Cosby went and did it himself. Yeah, literally, fucking plot twist. Obviously, Adult Swim and Disney are very different companies. Where Disney is all about the like kid-friendly image, and Adult Swim is literally the opposite of that. So, Adult Swim had a lot less stakes in keeping Dan Harmon on, and Disney definitely had a brand to protect, I guess. But at the same time, I don't think many people, like actually out in the real world, pay attention to who's directing Guardians of the Galaxy.
Well, nowadays it's, I mean, I hate saying that, but now it's sort of like the pick of the director is sort of like something to champion.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like if a female director doesn't get picked, it's just like you're making a movie about a female protagonist, like a Captain Marvel or something. So people notice that.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like it's more discussed now than it is before.
I think you're right about that in part because obviously with the internet being as big as it is, and especially the culture around Marvel movies being as big as it is, even if you're not paying attention to this stuff on the internet all the time, other people are, and they'll like, odds are you'll hear about it from your friends or it'll trickle down somehow. So when you go see Guardians of the Galaxy 3, you might offhandedly hear like, oh, did you hear that the guy who directed this movie is a pedophile or made a bunch of pedophile weird fucking jokes a few years ago? And you're like, oh, really? That's kind of fucked up. Makes me like not want to see the movie as much anymore. I assume there are some people, Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Oh, I don't care. Yeah. I'm going to see that anyway. I love those movies.
I know. This is a hypothetical person. But I don't know. I guess there are people out there, especially more like family-oriented people, that would be offended by that stuff. Well,
those family-oriented people are usually like, they don't have time to see everything for what it is. And they see the headline on, you know, CNN or Fox or something that says, oh, James Gunn has been linked to several tweets where they talks about raping kids, and they're like, all right, well, we're not going to see those Marvel movies anymore. And then Disney was like, oh shit, better cut ties with them. They're never going to rehire him because, you know, Disney makes a final decision.
Yeah. And the shitty thing is that, well, so I'm going to make another point before I move on. If this story was picked up by like more cable channels like CNN and like Fox especially, they'd like run this shit into the ground saying like, oh, Disney's like keeping on like a known pedophile or whatever. Because if fucking Ted Cruz can pick up on it, then CNN and Fox News definitely can. I'm sure they have like articles about it on their website already, but like continued like TV coverage is a whole new kind of exposure. But the shittier thing is that after Disney finishes up buying Fox, they'll own like an estimated 35 to 40% of the entire like entertainment industry. So James Gunn can now not work in 35 to 40% of the entertainment industry. Isn't that fucking crazy? Like this dude will just never like this dude will have 40% less job opportunities, I guess. And like I guess I don't feel bad. One, because what he said was fucked up, and two, because I'm sure he's like really well off anyways.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Fox News articles now. There's a lot.
Oh, I bet the comments on those are fucking insane.
Get her done. Gunn responded to the backlash in a series of tweets which he claimed he was a provocateur who made jokes that were outrageous and taboo, and addressed the situation without issuing a new apology, claiming that he has apologized in the past.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I haven't seen his past apologies, so I actually have no idea if that's true or not, but I don't know. I'll take their word for it. Why not? Oh yeah, Captain Marvel is being directed by a woman. That's good. Well, it's being directed by a woman and another guy.
But love Mike Cernovitz and Jack Posobiec. Keep it coming, guys. I love it when liberals bleed. It's like blood in the water. Sharks are in the feeding frenzy, eating each other.
That's the shit that just pisses me off the most, is that this is like all of a sudden part of the culture wars or whatever the fuck you want to call it. You know, just like gives more beef or puts gas on the fire for idiots online to yell at each other about dumb shit that doesn't actually matter in the grand scheme of things. I think they just liked to target him because he was so outspoken about disliking President Trump.
Well, they like it because they can turn it around. It's like, oh, you criticize Trump for being taboo and awful, but look at you. You're talking about little boys.
Exactly. It's like the easiest thing to do, really, is just, oh, well,
what about...
Yeah, my guy might have bragged about sexual assault, but what about these pedophile things you said 10 years ago?
What about James Gunn? What about James Gunn, guys? It's like, what do you mean, what about James Gunn? He's not a fucking political pundit. He's just some asshole.
Exactly. Like, James Gunn holds no
He's not
actual
the fucking
weight.
other president.
No one chose James Gunn to like represent them. Like, he does not make laws or things that will affect your actual life. He just makes space movies. And I guess now you're not going to get those same kinds of space movies. So
you can probably get someone who knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say that. I mean, I'm not saying he's not talented.
They'll
but
probably not be like
if you've seen the
different.
Guardians movies, you could probably get someone else to do those.
I think they should get Taika Waititi.
You know what?
Seems right up his alley.
I think the Guardians has a vibe of his own, and Ragnarok was great. I liked it, but there's something. This next one has to be darker because of the loss of Gamora.
No, she'll be back.
She'll be back. I don't want her to be back. I want an actual
They're gonna
loss.
bring everyone back.
No, she got thrown off a cliff. She didn't get disappeared.
Yeah, but she's in the. We saw her in the stone, didn't we?
I don't think so.
If anyone stays dead, she's definitely a good bet. But at the same time, she did. I don't know if this is actually an indicator of anything, but a lot of the cast members were tweeting about their support for James Gunn and stuff after he was
Chris
fired.
Pratt tweeting it?
Yeah, Chris Pratt, Zoe Saldana, Dave Bautista especially. I don't know who else. And they were all tweeting out in support. And Zoe Saldana was one of them. So that makes me think that she will be in Guardians of the Galaxy 3 because she was obviously invested in its production. So she must be involved somehow, which isn't surprising. I figured she will be.
Chris Pratt's a religious guy, and he tweeted, "Understand this, my dear brothers and sisters. Let every person be quick to listen, slow to speak, slow to anger," and then in all caps, James 1:19.
Yeah. So
he doesn't seem like the kind of guy who'd be religious. But
he doesn't seem. I did not know he was religious at all.
All his he tweets stuff like on Easter, like one year where he was carrying a cross with his family up a hill, and that's like their pilgrimage that they do.
Oh, that's kind of.
He's from the South, I think, right?
I guess
he has a little bit of an accent.
Chris Pratt definitely did not strike me as a church religious guy, but now that I think about it, he definitely could be one of those like youth pastors that's like
bro,
who's like really cool, and then he starts talking to you about Jesus, and you're like, this is kind of weird, but you're really cool and charismatic, so I'm kind of into it.
Well, the fact that you didn't know that he was religious is part of makes it cool, because it's like he doesn't like bring it up.
Yeah, not to say that you can't be religious and be cool, but I've had bad and weird experiences.
Southern conservative people who are religious are typically not cool people.
Yeah, just from my like 12 years of experience in Catholic school, it's kind of like soured me on the whole young people trying to act
being
cool
alive
to
in
convince
Virginia
me to go
in
to
the southern
church.
states for the last 17 years has not really helped my opinion.
Hasn't done them any favors.
Having a lot of my family be like that is also not great.
Although if Chris Pratt asked me to carry a cross with him up the hill, I'd be like
a really cool workout.
I'd be like, oh, this is a great, interesting workout you've developed here, Chris. Why are we pulling out a Bible? Why are we getting on our knees and praying? This is weird. I guess it's a rest period. Does not strike me as that kind of guy. And carrying a cross is like kind of a lot, but I guess whatever floats your boat. I don't want to hate on the guy, but whatever.
I was at a party, and there was this guy. I just thought of like bros and stuff. We were at a party, and I was sitting down in like this sort of circle of couches, and this guy was sitting next to me, and he's like passed out. And then this person was doing stuff, and then they said, "Dude, I guess like I'm drunk and high at the same time." And then without another word, the guy sitting next to me just shot upright, put a hand on my shoulder, and then he was like, "Patrick," and I was like, "What?" He was like, "I'm drunk and a guy at the same time." And then he went back to sleep. It was the most amazing thing. I laughed for like 20 fucking minutes. I'm drunk and a guy at the same time.
I think that guy's onto something. Quick, wake him up.
I was just laughing, and it looked like he whispered a secret into my ear to everybody else. But it was just the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life.
That's funny as fuck. I'm trying to think if I've ever had any profound intoxicated moments. I usually write these things down. The only thing I've actually written down was an idea I had for a tattoo. If I ever wanted to get a tattoo, I'm actually normally pretty like not a fan of tattoos on myself, at least. But what I would do is I would do Twin Suns from Star Wars, but I would make it very minimalist. So it's just like one line, and then like a black circle, like resting on the line, and then like a white circle resting on that circle.
You wouldn't put the igloo house?
No, that would make it like too obvious. I feel like I'm a big fan of like minimalist stuff because then like kind of leaves it up to interpretation.
Luke's theme from that first movie is so fucking pretty.
It's funny because I go back and watch that movie, and that scene comes up after like his aunt and uncle tell him, "No, you idiot! You can't go do that shit you wanted to do. You
stay
have to
on
fucking
the moisture
help."
farm for one more year. The robots aren't enough to help me.
And it's really a moment of like teen angst, but there's this beautiful like iconic score behind it, like uplifting it to like
because it's this
incredibly
desire to
dramatic
go
heights.
Out, and you're on the most boring planet in the universe.
Yeah, and I'm just like part of me thinks like, wow, this is like an incredibly beautiful, like an iconic scene, and the other part of me is like, he's basically just like whining. And
why
like,
is there moisture farmers on a desert planet?
Because they need moisture, so they have to farm for it. Dumbass.
But why are they on Tatooine?
I don't know.
Why not live literally anywhere else?
Maybe it's they're poor, one, and the cost of living is low. You know, like why would anyone live on a farm? Why would anyone live in a shitty area? They don't have any other options. I assume it's the same way in fucking space. Where do they get the moisture though? What the fuck do they farm exactly?
Dig down in the ground, maybe? Those big tower things?
That makes sense. I think the tower things literally collect moisture from the air. I think that's what that is. Because I think those were also in Rogue One, and they also had milk or whatever, blue milk.
What exactly is a moisture farmer? A moisture farmer was an individual who operated a moisture farm using vaporators to harvest excess humidity in the atmosphere on sun-scorched worlds like Tatooine. Most settlers of the desert were moisture farmers. Okay, so it wasn't like a venture. They were like, all right, let's go get water from Tatooine. They got there and they were like, all right, we need to be moisture farmers. That makes more sense.
Interesting. Okay. I guess it's not like a... Well, actually, yeah, it is an honorable profession. Good.
I don't think so at all, but okay.
Really?
I think it's the most boring, dumb idea in the world.
I mean, compared to like doing stuff in the Coruscant underworld, there
that sounds fucking awesome.
Worse options.
I want to dive right down in there.
Well, it depends on what you do. If you're a bounty hunter, that could be fun, but only if you're a good bounty hunter who like bullies other bounty hunters. It's a really like dog-eat-dog world out there. Because you could be just like a shitty bounty hunter who
I would
like
just kill everybody else.
That's true. But then you would get a bounty on your head.
And then I would kill a Padawan and take their lightsaber.
That's bull. Then the fucking Jedi would come after you.
No, they would try, but I'd kill them.
You would literally just... Everyone would come after you.
I would be like...
Everyone would team up against you.
I don't think that's how that would work.
The Jedi...
I would specifically... I don't know why I would have knowledge of Order 66, but I would wait till the day before that I'd go to the Jedi Temple, snap somebody's neck, and then take their lightsaber and leave. And then they'd be like, well, let's go after him. And then that moment, Anakin shows up with all those 100 stormtroopers and kills everybody. And I'm just like, fucking aces, goodbye.
Do you think any of the clone troopers, like, I definitely would have picked up one of those lightsabers and started, like, swinging it around. Just like, huh.
Oh, after Order 66, lightsabers were collected and destroyed by the Emperor. If you found one as a stormtrooper, you were supposed to give that information to your superiors, and then Palpatine had them destroyed.
Damn, that's crazy.
Because all the red crystals that they use are synthetic, and they don't want Force energy.
I love Star Wars lore. Like, sometimes the movies can suck, but the lore is so fucking good. Like, even just like if you just like read about like the events, like it's a history book or something, it's like incredibly fascinating stuff. It's so good. Like, you read about different like clone battalions, like the missions they go on, or like Knights of the Old Republic is also a good era. Just like hearing about shit that doesn't even exist in like the modern
Did
Star
you
Wars
watch
universe.
all those, like the YouTube compilation of all the audio logs? It's like, I am Jedi Master Kosabal, and then here's my information that we have of everything that happened that led up to the war. Blah, 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 blah.
From the Old Republic MMO. Yeah, I
those
watched
were awesome.
Those
All
were
the
so
art.
good. It's a shame that the game.
Talking about the Mandalorians.
sucks. The Mandalorian Wars is like my favorite thing to learn about because it's literally just
One bounty hunter slipped past and broke the Mandalorian blockade.
it's just a bunch of fucking. It's like a planet of like 8-foot Boba Fett's basically fighting. Like they're literally born to fight, and so they'll just fucking go and out and just like start wars with random people for like no good reason sometime. But then sometimes they have a peaceful leader, but then other times they have like a bloodthirsty leader and just like fuck shit up.
The new Mandalore.
Exactly. And then there's the time the first Mandalorian became a Jedi and like tried to balance those worlds. It's there's like so many good small stories in there. It's so interesting. That's why I loved Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2. Those are really old games.
Shitty games, fun story.
No, the Star Wars The Old Republic, the MMO, is shitty. Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2 for the like original Xbox and PC, real good. They're classics. Siri, shut the fuck up. What was I gonna talk about? Oh yeah, I do this at work a lot, but do you ever just Google random shit and go down a really deep rabbit hole? Like a question just pops into your head.
What was the question?
For example, I was making coffee at work the other day, and I used like a Splenda, which is like an artificial sweetener, but there was like a bunch of different choices, like regular sugar, sweet and low, equal, and I was like, what the fuck is the difference between all of these? And like, what are they even like made of? And is one of them giving me cancer? So I spent like an hour researching artificial sweeteners and just like reading threads about them on Reddit. Like I heard people from the science subreddit, from like the weightlifting subreddit, from like the weight loss subreddit, and everyone's just like, yeah, this one gave rats cancer, but then this one didn't do anything, and then this one's banned in Europe, but like this one isn't, so you should like avoid this and do that. But really, you shouldn't have any sugar whatsoever, ever, at all. And I'm like, oh, I'll just taste things bitterly for the rest of my life.
How is it that you could possibly find that interesting?
Just, you don't ever have like questions about like random parts.
I don't have
like,
questions about artificial sugars.
Okay, is there anything else like you just randomly come across online or read about or just observe and you're like, huh, I wonder how that works? Or, you know?
No.
There's literally a whole show dedicated to how that stuff works.
Let me see what my Googles are.
What's your Google history? My Google history is just its versus its. Can I even see
Well,
like
the top one is James Gunn rape tweets, and then it's Red Dead 2 release date.
That's coming soon.
And then Gaara from Naruto's Jutsu list.
I love it.
And then, God damn it, how the hell are you? Because there's this really funny gif of a dog handshaking a guy. And then I said, what kind of animal is a hedgehog? And then it was Ida Tenya. Then it was Ponyo. And then Betty Davis Eyes album cover. Recent famous suicides. Shazam 2019 cast. I was looking up a dreidel. Oh yeah, I remembered a story about dreidels. When I was in elementary school, we had multicultural day.
Oh, nice.
In like 3rd grade. And we had to make dreidels. And after we made them, we started battling them between me and my friends, like
Beyblades?
Beyblades. And the teacher got really mad. And then one of our friends said, no, this is just tradition in my house. And he was a Jewish kid. And then she took a picture of us, and it stayed on the wall for like 3 years. And underneath it, someone had written the Beyblade battle of whatever year. So that was pretty cool.
I can imagine some random kid or like adult coming in and seeing that picture who actually knew Jewish tradition and was like, why the fuck are these kids battling dreidels? Why is this like on the wall? This is not like a moment to like hang up.
And then I looked up Ben Franklin kite experiment. Did I read to you my tweet about Ben Franklin?
Did. Yeah, you read that last. That was good.
Danny.
If you want to end your career, you should throw in a pedophilia connection.
The cast of Titan AE.
Did we talk about? Yeah, we talked about Titans, right?
No. We
like
talked about it a long time ago when we talked about the original, like the pictures from the set.
Oh, right. Well,
you want to talk
anyways,
about fuck Batman?
The trailer, fuck Batman.
Yeah.
It's fucking stupid.
It looks so fucking bad.
It looks as bad as I expected it would be.
Is he supposed to be Jason Todd?
I think so. I don't know.
That's great. That's not at all what I wanted.
The sad thing, though, is that the girl who plays Starfire deleted her Instagram or something because people were like leaving like racist comments after that trailer came out.
Way
Obviously.
to turn something it's like this thing happens where it's like the reasonable criticism of something and then the insane thing. It's like the same thing that would happen with Ghostbusters. Some person would say like, yeah, that doesn't look like a very funny movie. And then all the comments that Sony left up after they deleted all the reasonable ones were like, man, I hate women. Women are so bad at acting. Why did they even try this? Women are terrible. So they tried to change the narrative. I'm sure that's not what's happening here. It's just like people are now thinking of the reason people dislike her as Starfire is because she's black and not because it looks like a terrible costume and the show looks terrible. It's because she's black. That's so stupid.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, as soon as I like saw that article and like immediately someone like quote tweeted it and saying like, this is why DC fandom is the worst. And I'm like, it is bad that people are being racist, but also the show just looks bad as well. And it sucks now that we will not be able to separate these two things ever. So now there will be a subsect of people that will try and pretend this show is like any good.
Yeah.
Just to like seem like they're on the right side of things, you know? So,
It's like the people who... Let me think of another example of a shitty, awful show that people really like.
This happened for The Last Jedi.
Yes.
People...
You liked The Last Jedi.
I liked The Last Jedi, but I'm saying like other people who had like reasonable criticisms were kind of like drowned out and mixed in.
You know
with
what I
people
really
who were being
fucking
racist.
hated? I really hated Yoda.
In that movie or in general?
Yeah, I hated him in that movie. Why the fuck did they make him so stupid?
I don't know. I liked him.
In the first time that Luke meets Yoda, he pretends to be a crazy old homeless man. And he's like fiddling with his stuff and he's like going through his food and banging R2-D2 with his cane. And then after a conversation with Luke, he goes like, you're looking for a Jedi Master, huh? It's like, oh, I think I know who you're looking for. His name's Yoda. And then Luke's just like, oh, you know the Jedi Master? And then Luke slowly realizes that no one else is on the planet. It's just him and Yoda. And it's like, Yoda says, it's like, it's me. I'm the fucking... And he drops the facade of the crazy person. He doesn't do that anymore. He was acting like this crazy psycho. And then he appears in The Last Jedi as a Force ghost, and he's a crazy psycho again, and it doesn't make any sense. Yoda's like this like calm, well-spoken person who doesn't repeat himself and just like is about like being, I don't know, just like collected. And he's not a crazy person unless he's pretending to fuck with Luke.
No, he fucked with Luke even as a Force ghost in Return of the Jedi.
He was so silly in The Last Jedi.
Return of the Jedi.
What about it?
He fucked with Luke as a Force ghost in Return of the Jedi as well.
What?
Yeah. Like, he can be both serious and, like,
I know
like
he can, but he acted like a clown. Like, he was just, like, rolling all over the place, going like... And it was stupid.
I think you're just racist because Yoda's played by...
I don't care.
That was, like, not the thing I registered or took away from that movie that was even, like, remotely, like...
Yeah, because you loved it.
The casino thing was bad. I didn't enjoy
that
at all.
What about the guy who played the guy in Sicario being completely
What
pointless?
A waste.
What a fucking waste. Not only for him playing that character, but also just that character.
They gave him a stutter for no reason.
Well, inclusion of somebody with a speech impediment, that's okay. I didn't care about that. But
I mean, it seemed more like... It seemed like a character trait added in to make him seem more eccentric, not because they cared about representing people with speech impediments.
Well,
that's what I took away from it.
I didn't really think about it that much.
Okay. Well, either way.
I was distracted by how much I hated the movie. But then when they released the horses and they're like, oh, we released the horses, they can just get picked up again.
Yeah.
I don't, like, you didn't do anything good.
That whole horse sequence is bad. Like,
the horse sequence was bad.
You could have streamlined that whole movie.
Also, fucking Rose, like, telling Finn, he's just like, this is the worst economy in the world. And then Finn's like, what economy? And she's like, slaves. And she's like, don't you understand? It's like shaming him. He was kidnapped as a child into forced, soldier. What are you talking about? Finn is like the best example of a slave in the whole universe. And you're like, I bet you don't have it that bad. You don't know what's going on. This place isn't all that great.
I just think the movie could have been way more streamlined. So I like Kelly Marie Tran as a person, but I think her character
pointless.
Pretty pointless.
Also, the romance in this shit was so weird.
That came out of nowhere.
So weird.
I was like, what the fuck?
And that was another example of people saying, oh, that looks like a dumb character. That didn't make any sense. And then people hearing, oh, she is Asian and that's why you don't like her. No.
So this is how I would have changed all of that. 1, get rid of the horses. 2, get rid of Kelly Marie Tran. I'm sorry.
What's it called? What was that? The art game where it's like you play as a little boy and there's a giant dragon griffin thing.
The
Last Guardian. Those things are the last Guardian.
Yeah. That's exactly it. Yeah, they do look like that.
Mini Guardians.
I would have had Finn and Poe instead.
Yes.
Team up because they need
I thought you meant gay stuff.
Sure, doesn't matter.
Why are you sighing?
Team up to do something because they need more like friendship development because they constantly showed them as being like best buds, but they've like barely been on screen together.
Cheek clapping development.
This would have been a great movie, an opportunity to like send them on a mission together so they can work together and do cool shit. I'm fine with the Casino Planet and the idea of that.
Don't do it terribly.
And like war profiteering and stuff. That shit's interesting. Just kind of dragged it down with horses. And Benicio del Toro's character
isn't necessary.
Fine. You could have kept him in. I think you could have kept him in because I think they needed to have someone who was like the code breaker, right?
That could easily. Why didn't they just have Rose do it?
Or if you want to have Rose as the code breaker, but then you don't have an excuse to go to the gambling planet or whatever. Anyways, doesn't matter. You can keep Benicio del Toro and make him more interesting somehow. Then go to the fucking Super Star Destroyer or whatever. Successfully take down the shields. That way Rey can come in, right? That gives her the opportunity to sneak in, see Kylo Ren. That whole series of events goes down. And then maybe Finn and Poe and them get captured because they obviously notice the shields are down and they are like, what the fuck? And they catch them, whatever. Then you can still keep those action sequences with the whole ship exploding and you're fine. You really don't need to fix much. Just like move some other pieces around and you're good to go. Like lots of simple fixes to that movie could have made it like, for me, I give it like a 7.5. Could have easily lifted it up to a 9, but whatever.
Also make Luke not such a disillusioned weirdo.
I was fine with Luke. That was actually one of the better parts of the movie. Actually, at the end, I kind of wished he still renounced the Jedi. Because it doesn't make sense for the whole theme of the movie being like, fuck the past. We're going to like leave it all behind. And then at the very end, he's like, actually, I will not be the last Jedi. Rey will continue the saga or whatever. And I'm just like, oh, kind of defeats the whole purpose of the movie. But whatever. Done talking about The Last Jedi. That is the most tired conversation I've ever continuously had. It's just people feel very strongly about it. And I have stopped caring and stopped feeling strongly about it. Okay. I'm going to go to email now.
Why? It's been 49 minutes.
It's been 50 minutes, bitch. And we have a lot to go through. We always get ones like at the middle of the night that you open, so I never see.
You open all of them during the day, so
that's true. We're on shifts. This one's from Marcus. Bonjour, my name is Grace. Why does it say Marcus? This is confusing. Never mind. Bonjour, my name is Grace. This is coming to you all the way from Toronto. I've been listening to the podcast for quite a while, and I think you guys are amazing. I was away at college with no cell reception or Wi-Fi with a very Christian family, so I had to rely on all my previous downloaded Prude episodes to keep me sane. Anyway, I was recently talking with my dad, and he brought up something really interesting, which was the fact that Marvel had nothing at the recent Comic-Con this year. I thought this was really strange because that means we're not going to see any new Marvel stuff for a while, but then again, Infinity War has probably made them enough money for them to do such a thing. On the topic of Comic-Con and such, what is your opinion on the new Shazam and Aquaman trailer? I thought the
Shazam looks great.
Funny.
Aquaman looks like garbage.
And the Aquaman looks really badass because of the fight scenes they've shown. Things for reading. Shazam looks really good. Aquaman looks mediocre. I'm hoping it turns out to be okay, though. I don't think it looks like garbage. There's some promising stuff in there. Black Adam looks cool. I like all the different factions. They're making the underwater place feel like a real world that doesn't look stupid as shit.
Did you say Black Adam?
Yeah. No, not Black Adam. Black
Manta.
Manta. Excuse me.
Christ on a bike, can you?
Yeah. Black Adam is another villain they're going to bring in for Shazam, though. Later.
Played by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Is Black Adam a villain or is he a hero?
Black Adam is a big villain.
Okay, that's what I thought. But Shazam looks fucking great. Like,
looks really cool, yeah.
Exactly what the DC universe fucking
some
needs
light
desperately.
and joy.
Yeah,
for once.
Zachary Quinto. What is that guy's name?
Zachary Levi.
Zachary Levi
maybe
is so charming and charismatic.
He's exactly what you want, because I was expecting him to be like, "Oh, I'm a man," but no, he's a boy in a man's body.
Exactly. So, I mean, the concept of Shazam is like kind of weird as it is.
No,
and
it's
like,
not.
I mean, compared to like other superheroes, but
no, it's cool.
I know, I like it, but I just think from like a mainstream perspective, people will be like, "Oh, it's weird that a kid can just do magic and then turn into a superhero," but whatever. But I think the lighthearted tone will easily sell that, and people will be like, "Oh, this is actually really funny and a great movie," so it'll be good. I'm trying to think if Marvel did have any stuff at Comic-Con. I don't think Venom really counts. Yeah, they didn't show anything. I'm surprised they didn't do a Captain Marvel panel at least, because there's like other movies coming out way after that had panels. Yeah, I mean, I think Marvel's just keeping everything on the down low. Captain Marvel isn't literally coming out until I think March, February of next year. So that's like 6 months. So we're in the desert right now in terms of content. This one's from McKaylee. The craziest thing that happened at my school was in my freshman year of high school. It was right around the time of the whole killer clown scare. That was so fucking stupid. I can't believe that ever fucking happened. And so a girl that I knew who was also a freshman decided it would be a good idea to make a fake clown account on Instagram and threaten to shoot up our school. Someone contacted the police and they tracked her down and she got expelled until around January. The funniest thing about this story is that one of the teachers she had when she came back kept making references to clowns, stop clowning around, etc. Here's a link to an article about it. Not much info, but kind of interesting. Jesus Christ. Okay.
I'm going to start playing Minecraft.
I literally heard you turn on your Xbox.
Did you have a PC, right?
Yeah.
You know the game The Forest? It's like one of those similar to Ark survival games.
The Forest. That sounds familiar.
I'm watching Achievement Hunter play right now. It's really fucking cool. It's just like the building and stuff and
collecting. Oh yeah, this is
It's got a bunch of updates, and there's not on Xbox, and it bothers me.
Isn't this supposed to be spooky?
It's oh yeah. There's a ton of weird, fucked up shit.
I think
like they keep venturing out. Like they'll send somebody out and they'll go into a cave and it'll be like a creature that's like a bunch of body parts sewn together. Have you ever seen that Neil Blomkamp Ode Studios thing that was like a
his YouTube thing?
It was like a Dead Space sort of similar thing where there was a monster that was a bunch of body parts stuck together.
Yeah.
It was a lot like that. It was so fucking cool.
It's coming out on PS4 soon. Oh well. Let's see. Are you playing Minecraft again?
Because I was like, I don't have another survival game, and I want to play a survival game, so I'm gonna play Minecraft.
Isn't there a Ark is on the Xbox?
Yeah, but fuck Ark.
Isn't
ugly ass game.
Isn't Rust also a thing?
Another ugly ass game.
Minecraft is, I guess,
stylized,
blocky
not
style thing. It's literally just fucking blocks.
And I love the pixel. It's like soft stuff.
Yeah. I actually haven't played the Minecraft survival mode. I've only ever played like the creative stuff.
Yeah, survival's fun. But then you just get all the resources that you need to sustain yourself, and you're like, all right, I'm bored again.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of how Fallout Shelter is, where I've just developed my shelter so quickly and so well that I'm kind of running out of things to do.
Ark?
No, in Fallout Shelter, like the
Oh, yeah.
mobile game. But it's good to kill the time and stuff, I guess. This one is from Monty. Hello again, my sweet fellows. This is going to be more personal than my last messages have been, I guess. So just be aware. I'm also not trying for pity and don't want to be TMI. This is going somewhere, I promise. All right, Patrick, strap in. It's funny because when I first opened this email and saw the attached like photos in like their the icons like at the bottom of the email, I thought like someone had gotten into a car accident
and they decided to share it with us.
Yeah, and I was like, Jesus Christ. But thankfully it was not that. So Monty writes, my grandpa died really suddenly last Tuesday. He had a stroke that put him into a coma Monday morning. So me and my family in Seattle piled into the car and drove down to him and my grandma in Portland. I saw him in the hospital and he was basically already gone. He officially died at 2 a.m. that night. He and I were really close beforehand, so it's been rough. I've been down in Portland until just yesterday with my grandma, helping her and my dad sort through everything that needs to be done, which is also why I didn't send a congratulations on a 1-year message, which I was going to do. Congrats, thank you. And it was super hard to take care of myself. I feel bad that someone felt obligated that they needed to say happy 1 year. It's fine. It doesn't matter. But thank you for the.
It seemed like you had other stuff going on.
Yeah, you had way more important things happening in your life.
Don't think about our stupid shit.
Yeah. What I ended up doing was going for long walks and re-listening to old episodes of the podcast. You guys absolutely made my life 1,000 times better and helped ease a lot of the pain. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I just wanted to make sure you know that you've had a very solid and positive impact on me in a way that I couldn't have even anticipated
when I
started listening 1 year ago. So many thanks, Monty. P.S. On one of my walks, I saw a raccoon. It made me think of Patrick. I attached pictures to this raccoons. Email. You'll have to zoom in, but he is there. His name is Eduardo.
Dude, they have such human hands. They
do.
Grab your face.
I was so relieved to find out that the pictures included were not of like a deadly car accident, but were just a raccoon. I was like, oh.
When she said her who was it? Her grandpa died?
Yeah.
Her grandpa died. I thought the pictures were going to be of him, and I was like, this is about to be bad.
Yeah, but it was exactly what I needed it to be, which is a lovely animal to admire after a very touching, nice email. So thank you, Monty. Glad we could help you. Always, I don't know, I always feel good when people are like,
pretend the world doesn't exist and listen to our stupid voices.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm glad we can, distract you from the shitty world for even a little bit, Everyone needs something like that.
That's pretty much what I do.
Yeah.
Inject content into my eyes and ears until I can't think about anything else.
Just fucking put intravenous content into my body. You uploaded a video.
I did.
That was not a podcast.
Yeah, I stayed up really late one night and I was like, you know what, fuck it. And I went through the thing on my video editing app on my computer and I was like, finally, whatever, I'll just pull the trigger on this, and then I just sent it out because why not?
Yeah, because that's been something that you've just been like sitting on for a while.
Right? I have. I literally finished it and then I was like, I don't want to post it.
It was good. I'm glad you finally posted it.
Thank you.
Like lots of like work into that went to that obviously. I'm trying to go through comments on that. Thrash me, daddy.
Oh yeah.
Let me see. Please don't strangle my tree. There was lots of weird tree
comments
until I read your description.
Did you see this? Read the description.
Yeah. A bunch of clips Batrick recorded. Don't like this video or subscribe after watching. I'll strangle the tree in your front yard if you do, you son of a trash.
I really enjoyed that. I was up for a long time.
You have really fucking crazy hours, man. I don't know how you do it.
Because I go to work, but the night before, I refuse to give up my free time and sleep early because fuck you. And so I'll go to work, and then I'll get home, and I won't have any time, technically, because I should go to sleep, but then I refuse to, so I'll stay up really late, and then I have to work in like an hour from then, and, I don't care, so.
Yeah. That's the thing I fucking hate about working all the time, is that and then I have to like go to bed early to wake up early, go to work, and then I barely have any free time. But I don't want to sacrifice sleep because then I just feel even more like shit.
I don't care though. I'll go to work with like 2 hours of sleep.
Jesus Christ. Let's see. Going off of the last YouTube comments for the last podcast. This is from Tabitha. There's something about this channel that just makes me so happy. Not sure what it is, but I'm so glad that the Prudes exist. Thank you. I almost hate that I'm another lifeguard in the audience, but oh my gosh, I thought I couldn't love you guys anymore. But the last few times you've talked about it, it's just so relatable. Aside from the lifeguard stuff, you guys are just so dang funny. Keep it up, dudes. Thank you. Quit your job as soon as possible.
Stop being a lifeguard.
Yeah, go be a personal trainer or model.
What?
Yeah.
Don't do that.
This is from Christy. Hey, my best friend's a Slytherin. No offense
Your
meant
breast
towards
friends.
Our best friends is a Slytherin. It's just weird. It's weird to think about a whole house of psychoanalysts from somebody who struggles to understand people and motivations. Thanks for the compliment about my comments. I just tend to talk a lot, so that gets reflected in a lot of my correspondence. I'm about to head off to run for college. You got to get that scholarship money, so I'll have more time to try to build my arms. I don't know how often I'll be coming home, so we'll see how it goes over with the family, but I'm pretty excited to try and see what I can do. Crush your enemies, dude. Fucking just crush nuts in between your biceps, crush like bottle caps off of them, and then just like crush any piece of shit that gives you trouble. Speaking of college, do you have any advice for someone who's going to be living on their own for the first time? I'm a little nervous because I'll have a roommate, and she's super sweet, but with morning and afternoon running practices, her softball practices, classes, and the job I'm applying for on campus, we probably won't be seeing each other that often. And I'm one of 4 kids, so I'm not used to having someone close to talk to 24/7. Thoughts? Love the podcast this week. Looking forward to a live stream. I'll be at a running camp next week, so I might miss it, but I'm hoping I'll be able to tune in. Lots of love. I forgot that we said we would do a live stream.
Yeah, he said that, and I was like, that's not going to happen.
Maybe this weekend. I should stop saying maybe.
Stop saying that, Penny.
And it'll happen when it happens. As for living alone, like, get good at doing laundry.
You should already be doing that if you live with your parents.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what else.
Don't be a cunt. Don't leave dishes in the dishwasher, I swear to God.
Yeah, don't be a shitty roommate. Aren't you supposed to leave dishes in the dishwasher?
No.
Like you put the dirty dishes in the
sink.
dishwasher. Okay.
And don't leave them in the dishwasher when they're done. Take them out and put them away.
Yeah. Be a good roommate. Hopefully your roommate's good to you. Don't leave trash and clothes all around. I had a fucking shittiest roommate when I was a freshman who told me he was super clean, and then when I got to school, he was the dirtiest motherfucker I'd ever seen in my life. His floor, his side of the room was clearly marked because of the shit on the floor. Like, he would just keep old chip bags, his clothes. He was diabetic, so he would leave his insulin packs and, like, needles just lying around.
The fuck?
So, yeah. In the middle of the night, his, like, insulin monitor would go off constantly. And I'm like, don't you need to check on that? And he's like, no, it's fine. I'm too tired. I was like, couldn't you, like, die? This seems something important you should address, or at least turn your fucking monitor off. I hate him. I think he ended up transferring out the year after, so whatever. I think we had, like, a Jake Paul fan come in to our comments and say, nope, the fight's not scripted. These guys train hardcore, and for months in the first ever boxing match that they were getting hit hard, but with gloves and headgear, and there was blood and cuts from almost all fighters. That was barely a coherent sentence. Then you said, I'll kill you with my meaty, beefy hands. And he said that we were rude, so whatever. Oh, this was a good take I liked. This is from Duzization. People telling girls to avoid developing muscles are one of my biggest pet peeves. Another stupid societal norm we haven't abandoned yet for some odd reason. Billionaires do make me wonder if the world's problems would be easier to solve if they just decided to, instead of caring, if the problems would be easier to solve if they just decided to do instead of caring about how their public image. Okay. Are there enough resources that we could distribute wealth fairly without greed and the inevitable bureaucracy mucking it up? There's stories about clothing charities running local economies and food never reaching its intended places. shackling governments to donations could be a bad thing.
Jesus
in any
Christ.
case. It was intense. Patrick knows a lot of us love him for making us laugh because before this podcast existed. Okay, cool. Thanks. And someone said I was the podcast dad. Thank you very much. And someone else said we were fucking goobers, and
you can go fuck yourself.
we're their fucking favorite. They watched all of our videos, and they asked what our Instagram is, which we say all the fucking time. Why don't you listen?
It's just Prude.
Yeah, that's pretty simple, actually.
Spelled
Okay.
Fucking right.
And I think we got...
I tweeted something about vegans, and people got mad at me.
Tell me about that, because I love to shit on vegans.
It's not shitting on vegans, actually.
What is it?
I said, complaints and jokes about vegans constantly telling people they're vegan appear in my life approximately 900 times more often than any person actually telling me they're vegan. And then someone said, how many vegans do you hang out with? And he had a cowboy hat on. And I said, I host a summit every year, and about 4,000 vegans attend.
It's very generous of you to bring the community together like that.
And then I leave a bunch of buckets of blood on the top of the ceiling, and then when they get in, I just fucking release it and lock the doors.
Turn off the lights, lock them in there with a bunch of animals being slaughtered.
Like a bunch of Lucy's.
Yeah, just cover them in raw meat.
I just bought Ark.
You just did.
Yeah.
Even though you said it was
a
fucking ugly game.
Space. Well, I looked at it. It doesn't look that bad. I just want a lot of progress.
Oh, wow.
Minecraft.
We finally fucking crossed 100 views. Although I think I mentioned this last time. We're at 104 reviews now, so thank you. This one is from Towie Marissa. Really enjoy the podcast. The guys do a great job on keeping each episode interesting. Each person has a unique personality, but it meshes well to create good episodes. They also have good stories to tell and good topics to talk about. I really recommend listening to this podcast.
Thank you.
Genuine review. Forgive my weird title. The boy banter is the best. I like that.
Boy banter.
Yeah. I had no idea what to put here, but this podcast is genuinely funny and reminds me of how my friends and I talk. I love it, and all their arguments that encompass each episode. Keep up the good work. Sincerely, Adora. I'm glad we're genuinely funny and not fake funny. That would be
a tragedy.
Yeah, fucking whatever. All right, Patrick, anything else you want to add, or do you want to go fucking kill some dinosaurs and survive?
I'm going to build a fort.
Do that, you fort building bitch.
I might buy the actual version of Fortnite, but I don't know if you can build a fort in that game.
Oh, you mean Save the World?
Yeah.
I think you can.
Do you think anybody actually plays that?
It has gotten more popular because of Fortnite like Battle Royale or whatever. If that's what you're wondering.
Tangentially is when you get a sunburn on your teeth. With
that, thank you for listening to the Prude Dudes podcast. If you want to send us an email, what?
It's 9/11.
It's 9/12 actually.
Well, fine. What's the point?
Thank you for listening to the Prude Dudes podcast. If you want to send us an email, it's prudedudes@gmail.com. If you want to send us fan mail, art, send that shit anywhere. Either
send
email
it to fucking HBO or we'll get it.
Yeah, they'll fucking get it to us eventually.
No, this is for those idiots that make that one stupid podcast.
You want to follow us on Twitter, on Instagram, that's @PrudeDudes. If you want to follow us on our individual accounts, I'm @AlexBennett97. Patrick is @PatrickSchulter5. Yaman is _Yaman. Wait! Forgot to mention, Miriamu. Oh, yeah! Did some wild shit. We talked about this piece on the podcast before. Which it is really a piece of a sketch she did of Yaman in his room being like operated on by a alien.
He's not operated on. That's supposed to be him.
Or yeah, he's like an android or whatever.
Yeah,
he is the alien. Okay. Anyways, finally finished with color. That's on our Prude Dudes Instagram. Go check that out. Zoom in to see all the tiny details. There's literally tons of things.
All the stuff that he likes.
Yeah, all the things he likes, things he's mentioned. The amount of detail is really insane. So thank you so much, Miriam, for that.
You know what? I just there's this channel that I watch called The Game Theorist, and I really like it because it'll be like, oh, how many megatons would Captain Falcon's punch actually produce? Is like, that's interesting. And they just recently made a video where they talked about one of their editors committed suicide.
Oh, I heard about that.
And watching the video, that was fucking rough. Because the dude, it's the guy who goes like, it's a game theory. And his voice is usually so chipper, but he was so fucking sad. Oh my God, that was hard to watch. That's really sad to hear.
Yeah. What was
Way
the
to
guy's
bring
name?
It down, Patrick. No, I'm sorry.
It was Ryan, right?
I don't remember. He had like a username. That's the name they gave him.
Okay.
Bio or something like that.
He was their editor, I know.
Yeah.
Well, condolences out to the Game Theory.
Talk to people.
What else to say? Talk to people. Get help.
Don't let your
seriously.
friend retreat back into the night. Unless they're me. Don't follow me.
Yeah, Patrick's a raccoon. He'll just fucking attack you if you do that.
Grab you with my grabby hands.
Instead, go talk to your local raccoon therapist, and they should help you out.
But not if it's James Gunn's raccoon.
Anyways, with that, see you again next week. Bye-bye.